Hi, I'm Chris, founder of Cellsite Capital. One of the questions that we get here a lot is about how do I know how many tenants are actually on my tower? So usually when you have somebody approach you to put a tower on your property, usually there's one tenant on it. Tenant typically is going to go to the top, and you're going to have an array that kind of looks like this. And those are the tenants. We typically call those a RAD center. And what ends up happening is that carrier, we'll call it carrier A, then pays you rent. So they pay you rent of whatever the dollar amount that they give you per year. Then eventually you hope that you get a second tenant on it, and that's going to be the lower RAD center that you're going to see here. So this will be carrier B. And if you're lucky enough, you're also going to be down here with carrier C. Well, if you're going to sell your lease, or you've been called or contacted to sell your lease, why does that matter? Because every time a carrier locates on here, they pay the tower company rent. And every time they do that, let's just say this first carrier pays them $1,000. That's what they give to you for rent. The second tenant comes on there and they say, well, I'm going to pay $2,000 because the tower's already up. It's great. Tower company now collects another $2,000. Third carrier comes on this and they pay another $2,000. So now collectively you might be looking at a total of $5,000. And if your rent doesn't go up every time a new carrier comes onto those, you actually have what's called ground rent, which means you've leased a space on your property, whatever, 100 by 100, just call it 100 by 100 in this case. And every time, doesn't matter who is actually on that tower because they're renting this space from you. So the tower company starts collectively gaining more revenue as each one of these tenants comes on here. And if your rent, your ground rent, doesn't increase, the tower company's making a fortune off of you. So that's why it's important to understand what co-location looks like, what it is, and why it's important. So the first thing you do, the easiest thing to do, is go out on your cell site and actually look at it and find out how many RAD centers do I have on there, how many carriers I have on there. And in some cases you might have a satellite dish that looks, something similar to that they've strapped to the side as well. And that could also be a fourth tenant. So every time somebody locates on here, they're actually paying your tower company more money, and hopefully, if you did a good job negotiating, your rent will increase every time a tenant comes on there. And if it doesn't, you probably want to give us a call because we can help you with that.